Hello friends, welcome back to a channel on Ashwa old coins. The Kennedy half dollar is one of the most iconic and recognized coins in the history of U.S. numismatics. The coin, first introduced in 1964, was created to honor President John F. Kennedy following his assassination in 1963. Over the years, several versions of the Kennedy half dollar have been minted, including those from 1971, 1972, and 1985. In this script, we will cover the history, geography, and significance of the Kennedy half dollar, with a specific focus on the years 1971, 1972, and 1985. The Kennedy half dollar is a coin in the United States currency series that was first introduced in 1964. The coin was created as a tribute to the late President John F. Kennedy, following his assassination in November 1963. The 1985 Kennedy half dollar is part of a long-standing series that has seen various design changes, minting practices, and even periods of discontinuation for general circulation. The 1985 version, minted as part of the regular U.S. coinage for that year, continues to be part of the coin's journey. While the coin is often associated with collectors and special editions, it retains significance as part of the broader history of U.S. coinage and reflects both American society and the economy at the time. The Kennedy half dollar was first introduced in 1964, following the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy on November 22, 1963. The U.S. Treasury Department, with the backing of Congress, decided to honor the late president by featuring his likeness on a new half-dollar coin. Before Kennedy's death, the half dollar was represented by the Benjamin Franklin half dollar, which had been in circulation since 1948. After JFK's assassination, the U.S. Treasury was tasked with designing a new coin. Mint engraver Gilroy Roberts was chosen to design the obverse, front, of the coin, which would feature a profile of President Kennedy. The reverse, back, design was created by Franklin Mint engraver John Sinek, who had previously designed the Franklin half dollar and designed the reverse of the Kennedy coin with a symbolic depiction of the U.S. coat of arms. The original coin was made of 90% silver and 10% copper. However, due to a rise in the cost of silver, the composition of the coin was changed in 1971 to 40% silver and 60% copper, and then in 1979, the Kennedy half dollar was made with a composition of copper-nickel clad, no silver at all. The coin was originally released in circulation, but it eventually became more of a collector's item than a widely circulated currency. In the late 1960s and early 1970s, coins like the Kennedy half dollar were often hoarded due to the silver content. This shift in usage led to a significant decline in circulation of the coin. Since the 1970s, the Kennedy half dollar has been primarily produced for collectors, with limited releases in regular circulation. The 1985 Kennedy half dollar follows the standard design of the coin, which has remained largely unchanged since its introduction in 1964. Obverse, front. The obverse design features a profile of President John F. Kennedy, facing left. The inscription Liberty is placed above the portrait, and In God We Trust appears below. The mint mark, if present, is on the right side of Kennedy's neck, and the date of minting, in this case, 1985, appears below the portrait. This iconic image of Kennedy was designed by Gilroy Roberts and has been a consistent feature of the coin's design. Reverse, back. The reverse of the coin depicts the Great Seal of the United States, with an eagle holding an olive branch in its right talon, symbolizing peace, and a bundle of 13 arrows in its left talon, symbolizing defense. Above the eagle are the words, United States of America, and below it, half dollar is inscribed. The reverse design was created by Franklin Mint engraver John Sinek and has also remained largely unchanged over the years. The Kennedy half dollar is produced by the U.S. Mint, which has several facilities across the country. For the 1985 coin, the production primarily took place at the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint. While the coins could technically be minted at any of the U.S. Mint's facilities, Philadelphia and Denver are the primary locations for the production of the regular circulation coins. Philadelphia Mint. The Philadelphia Mint is the primary location for the production of proof and other special edition coins. This facility also serves as the headquarters of the U.S. Mint. Denver Mint. The Denver Mint is another key location in the minting of coins, including regular circulation coins. Denver is often associated with producing coins for general circulation. San Francisco Mint. Although the 1985 Kennedy half-dollar was not primarily minted at the San Francisco Mint, this facility has historically been involved in producing proof versions of the coin. Proof coins are specially made for collectors and have a higher level of detail compared to standard circulating coins. Mint mark. Coins produced at the Philadelphia Mint typically have no mint mark, while coins produced at the Denver Mint carry a D mint mark. Composition. By 1985, the Kennedy half-dollar was made from a clad copper-nickel composition, which is composed of 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel. The coin has a weight of 11.34 grams and a diameter of 30.61 millimeters. Mintages. The total mintage of the 1985 Kennedy half-dollar was relatively low in comparison to earlier years, reflecting the decline in circulation. These coins were primarily struck for collectors, with no significant release into regular circulation. Varieties. The 1985 Kennedy half-dollar saw the release of two types. Circulating coins. These were minted for general circulation, though they didn't see much use in everyday transactions. Proof coins. Specially made coins for collectors, with a mirror-like finish and intricate details. By the time of the 1985 minting, the Kennedy half-dollar had seen a sharp decline in circulation. Most of the Kennedy half-dollars produced in this era were meant for collectors and not for everyday transactions. Many people hoarded these coins, especially during the periods when the U.S. Mint included silver in the composition. While the coin was still issued by the U.S. Mint, it was increasingly seen as a collector's item. As of the 1980s, the half-dollar coin's role in the economy had diminished significantly. It is also important to note that the half-dollar had never been as widely used in commerce as other denominations, such as the quarter or dime. The 1985 Kennedy half-dollar remains part of the ongoing history of the coin. While its production numbers were not large and it did not circulate widely, the coin continues to be an important collector's item. In the years that followed, the U.S. Mint began to focus on producing coins for collectors rather than for general circulation. The Kennedy half-dollar has continued to be released in limited edition sets, commemorative collections, and other special formats. Even though the coin's circulation dwindled, its status as a collectible item has allowed it to remain relevant in the numismatic world. In addition, the Kennedy half-dollar holds symbolic meaning for the United States. It represents a moment of national grief and remembrance, as well as the enduring legacy of John F. Kennedy's presidency. The 1985 Kennedy half-dollar is not just a piece of currency, it is a representation of a significant chapter in American history. The coin, which honors President John F. Kennedy, is also a reflection of the broader changes in the U.S. coinage system, including the shift from circulating coins to those made primarily for collectors. Through its design, mintage process, and legacy, the Kennedy half-dollar continues to be an important symbol of U.S. history and coinage. While its circulation may have been limited, its value as a collectible item continues to grow, making it an essential part of American numismatic history. The Kennedy half-dollar is one of the most iconic coins in American numismatic history. The 1972 version of the Kennedy half-dollar represents an important year in its history, and it was produced during a time when the coin underwent certain changes, reflecting both the historical significance of the series and the broader economic context of the era. The Kennedy half-dollar was introduced on March 24, 1964, as a direct response to the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy on November 22, 1963. Congress and the U.S. Treasury decided to replace the Franklin half-dollar with a new coin featuring Kennedy's likeness as a tribute to his leadership and legacy. The coin was designed by Gilroy Roberts, the chief engraver of the U.S. Mint, and Frank Gasparo, the Mint's engraver, who worked on the reverse. The obverse shows a portrait of Kennedy, while the reverse features the U.S. presidential seal. The first year of production, 1964, saw an overwhelming demand for the Kennedy half-dollar, with millions being minted. However, due to the rising cost of silver, The composition of the coin was altered in 1965 from 90% silver to 40% silver, and eventually, in 1971, it was minted with a copper-nickel clad composition. The year 1972 marked a significant period in the Kennedy half-dollar's production due to various changes in both the coin's material composition and its role in American currency. 1. Composition. In 1972, the Kennedy half-dollar was produced using the copper-nickel clad composition, as had been the case since 1971. The coin was made up of an inner core of pure copper, sandwiched by outer layers of copper-nickel alloy. The final product weighed 11.5 grams and had a diameter of 30.6 millimeters. 2. Design. The design remained largely unchanged from the previous year. The obverse continued to feature the famous portrait of President John F. Kennedy, designed by Gilroy Roberts. This portrait is iconic for capturing Kennedy's youthful and idealistic appearance. On the reverse, the Great Seal of the United States was featured, with a heraldic eagle holding an olive branch and arrows, surrounded by a ribbon with the national motto, E pluribus unum. 3. Minting locations. In 1972, the Kennedy half-dollar was minted at 3 different locations. Philadelphia Mint. Coins from this mint were unmarked, meaning they had no mint mark. Denver Mint. Coins minted here featured the D mint mark. San Francisco Mint. Coins here were specially minted for collectors with the S mint mark. These were proofs, produced for those interested in collecting coins in high-quality condition. 4. Production numbers. The total mintage of Kennedy half-dollars in 1972 was substantial, but not as high as the coin's peak years in the mid-1960s. The Philadelphia Mint produced 115 million coins, while Denver produced about 104 million. The San Francisco Mint produced approximately 3 million proof coins. Economic context and popularity. By the time the 1972 Kennedy half-dollar was released, the coin was no longer used extensively in day-to-day transactions. The United States had moved away from using half-dollar coins in regular circulation due to inflation and the rise of smaller denomination coins like the quarter and dime. This shift in currency usage meant that Kennedy half-dollars were primarily used as collector's items or saved in coin collections, especially as silver prices continued to fluctuate. In 1972, the economic climate was influenced by the broader context of the 1970s, marked by inflation, economic instability, and a growing distrust in government and currency following the end of the Bretton Woods system, the collapse of the gold standard. This led to a reduced role of half-dollar coins in the public's daily transactions. The rising cost of metals also played a role in the reduced production of the Kennedy half-dollar with silver. Despite this, the coin retained its symbolic value and remained a popular item for collectors. Geographical and cultural impact. While the Kennedy half-dollar was primarily minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, it had an impact that extended far beyond those cities. The Kennedy half-dollar became a piece of American history, a symbol of the nation's tribute to President Kennedy. It was embraced across the country, particularly by collectors, who held onto the coin as a symbol of the 1960s and the young, vibrant presidency of John F. Kennedy. Culturally, the Kennedy half-dollar was also used in various forms of art and expression. Its distinctive design and its connection to a tragic moment in American history gave it a unique place in both numismatics and popular culture. Over time, Kennedy half-dollars would also become widely used in movies, television shows, and other media, reinforcing their status as a symbol of American idealism and remembrance. The 1972 Kennedy half-dollar, while still in circulation for a few years, gradually became a coin largely set aside for collectors. Over time, with the rise of inflation and the continued trend of fewer people using half-dollar coins, production dropped. By the late 1980s, the Kennedy half-dollar was essentially removed from regular circulation, though it continued to be minted for collectors. In 2002, the U.S. Mint stopped making Kennedy half-dollars for circulation altogether, with the last year of regular circulation coins being 2001. The coin still remains in production today, but only for collectors in proof, uncirculated, and commemorative sets. The 1972 Kennedy half-dollar, with its simple yet profound design, is not only a coin of economic and historical significance, but also a testament to the enduring legacy of John F. Kennedy. Despite not being widely used in everyday transactions after the early 1970s, the coin became an important symbol of American patriotism, idealism, and respect for a fallen leader. Today, the 1972 Kennedy half-dollar is prized among collectors, offering a glimpse into an era of change in both American politics and the numismatic world. As part of the rich history of the Kennedy half-dollar series, the 1972 coin serves as a reminder of a nation's tribute to its late president, as well as a representation of the broader shifts in both currency and culture that took place during the second half of the 20th century. The 1971 Kennedy half-dollar coin holds an important place in the history of U.S. currency. It was part of a long series of coins that were minted to honor President John F. Kennedy following his assassination in 1963. Below, I'll provide a comprehensive history and geographic context of the 1971 Kennedy half-dollar. The Kennedy half-dollar was first introduced in 1964, less than a year after the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy on November 22, 1963. The U.S. government decided to replace the Franklin half-dollar, which had been in circulation since 1948, with a new coin that would honor the fallen president. Obverse. The front, obverse, of the coin features a portrait of John F. Kennedy, which was designed by Gilroy Roberts, the chief engraver of the U.S. Mint at the time. The image is a representation of Kennedy's profile, showing him in a dignified and realistic manner. Reverse. The reverse of the coin was designed by Frank Asparo, who was an engraver at the U.S. Mint. It features a heraldic eagle, with a shield on its chest, olive branches in its right talon, and arrows in its left talon. Above the eagle is the inscription, United States of America, and below the eagle is the denomination half-dollar. The 1971 Kennedy half-dollar was part of the regular issue circulation coins. It was produced by the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark, coins produced here were intended for circulation. Denver Mint, D mint mark, Denver also minted coins primarily intended for circulation. San Francisco Mint, S mint mark, the San Francisco Mint was responsible for producing proof coins, which were made specifically for collectors and were struck with extra care to show fine details. One of the most significant events for the Kennedy half-dollar was the composition change in 1971. Before 1971, the coin was made of 90% silver and 10% copper. However, due to the rising price of silver, the U.S. Mint switched to a clad composition. The 1971 Kennedy half-dollar and those produced after it were made with a core of copper sandwiched between two outer layers of copper-nickel. This change was made to keep production costs low and avoid depleting the U.S. silver reserves. The new composition of the coin was outer layers, 75% copper and 25% nickel. Inner core, 100% copper. The coin had a diameter of 30.61 millimeters and a weight of 11.5 grams. In the early years, the Kennedy half-dollar was issued for regular circulation, but as time passed, it became less common in everyday transactions. By the 1970s, the U.S. Mint began to produce these coins primarily for collectors, and the half-dollar coin was not as widely used in commerce. This was partly due to inflation, as higher denominations like the $1 bill and later the $1 coin, such as the Eisenhower dollar, became more popular. As a result, the Kennedy half-dollar, especially after the 1971 composition change, became a collector's item rather than a widely circulated coin. For collectors, the U.S. Mint continued to produce special proof sets and uncirculated sets featuring the Kennedy half-dollar. The proof coins, produced in San Francisco, were struck with a special process that resulted in a high-quality, mirror-like finish. The uncirculated versions, made for coin collectors, were struck using a special die that ensured sharp and well-defined details. These sets were sold to the public and became popular as souvenirs or investments. The Philadelphia Mint is the original mint of the United States and has played a central role in U.S. coin production since its establishment in 1792. For the production of the 1971 Kennedy half-dollar, the Philadelphia Mint produced the majority of the coins for regular circulation. The Philadelphia Mint, which no longer produces coins for circulation, is still a major part of the U.S. Mint's operations today, producing coin dies and serving as a repository for the country's gold and silver reserves. The Denver Mint, established in 1906, is located in Denver, Colorado. It was built to address the rapid expansion of the minting needs in the western United States. Denver has been a primary minting facility, responsible for producing a variety of coins, including the 1971 Kennedy half-dollar. In addition to coin production, the Denver Mint also plays a significant role in processing paper currency and storing precious metals. The San Francisco Mint, established in 1937, is one of the most iconic minting facilities in the U.S. It became the official producer of proof coins, including the 1971 Kennedy half-dollar. The San Francisco Mint is located in a historic building known as the Granite Lady and has served as the primary mint for proof and commemorative coinage since its inception. Today, the San Francisco Mint produces coin dies and serves as a depository for gold and silver reserves. The 1971 Kennedy half-dollar was minted during a period of significant change in U.S. currency and the broader economy. The early 1970s saw the U.S. facing inflation, the devaluation of the U.S. dollar, and the end of the gold standard. In 1971, President Richard Nixon announced that the U.S. would no longer convert dollars to gold, marking the official end of the Bretton Woods system and transforming the dollar into a fiat currency. This period also witnessed a surge in the price of silver, prompting the U.S. Mint to change the composition of many coins, including the Kennedy half-dollar, to avoid higher production costs. The Kennedy half-dollar went from being a 90% silver coin to a copper-nickel clad coin in 1971 as part of the U.S. Mint's broader effort to curb rising metal costs. The 1971 Kennedy half-dollar has become an important coin for collectors, particularly due to its association with a famous president and the composition change in U.S. coinage. The coin is also part of a broader historical context, representing the nation's transition from traditional silver-based currency to clad coinage. Collectors often focus on specific years and mint marks when searching for rare or valuable examples of the coin. For instance, the San Francisco proof coins are highly valued by collectors due to their polished, mirror-like surfaces and limited mintage. The 1971 Kennedy half-dollar is not only significant due to its design and composition but also because it marks a pivotal moment in U.S. numismatic history. From the tragic assassination of President Kennedy to the changes in the U.S. Mint's operations and the broader economic climate of the early 1970s, the coin serves as a reminder of a transformative period in American history. Its legacy, as both a circulating coin and a collector's item, remains strong today among numismatists, and it continues to be an important piece of U.S. currency for collectors and history enthusiasts alike.